Hello everybody, it's your boy Alex filming on my silver Chromebook. I don't know how much storage I have, but that's okay, I'm just gonna film. I have a big story to tell and a little bit of a past story. This is a new segment of my YouTube channel. I might start vlogging more frequently if this occurs more frequently. Then I might film or just see what happens with the process in general. Okay, so hear me out. So today it's 4/16, June 26th at 4:16. I just said that. Sorry, and I wanted to say that I've been having an issue, and this has arisen multiple times, but it's starting to become a new thing. Like I discarded a month ago. I'm starting a fresh new segment, but it happened on Wednesday, so I'm guessing it was Monday. On Monday, I was sleepwalking. Basically, was sleepwalking. So before I started sleepwalking, though, I was having issues sleeping. I was having a dream. I'd have a dream. I'll tell you the dream later. I'll tell you in a second. But I'd be having a dream. Then it would change it to this recurring nightmare. I call it a nightmare because it occurs every night. And it's not a scary thing, but I just don't know what to expect at the end of the dream. Okay, so let me explain what's going on. Okay, so on Monday, it's 9 o'clock at night, maybe a little later. No, it was 11:30 when, no, wow. I have no idea. But, here we are, hear me out still. So, I was in the middle of a dream. And my dream became a nightmare. And it's been happening ever since. I've spoken to most staff about it. Most of the nurses here know about it. So I had my first sleepwalking episode in a long time. So my dream that triggered my sleepwalking was this. So, plug your brain in and try to imagine this. Okay? Corridor. Straight with no lights. Lights are at the top. Every couple feet there's a light. But it ends up into this white space. And there's a voice. And it's black on the sides. So I can't, if I look to my left and look to my right, I see nothing. Just blackness. Or just black. Nothing. So I go towards this voice. It's a female voice. Yesterday it wasn't, but that doesn't matter. Don't care. I tried. So this voice is singing Daisy Bell. If you don't know what Daisy Bell is, it's a song in 1836, I think. 1836, 1835, something like that. I forget the time. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember. But it says, Daisy, Daisy, give me an answer to. I'm half crazy, all for love of you. It won't be a stylish marriage, I can't afford a carriage, but you'll look sweet upon the sea of Bicycle Bill for Two, which is also known as Bicycle Bill for Two, if you haven't searched it up. Search it up if you don't know the song. I heard when I was younger, so it brings back some memories, so I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty good song. I like it a lot. I'm obsessed with the song. Loved it ever since it's come out. I've listened to multiple versions of it, it's actually pretty good. Some people say it's a creepy song, but that's because people make it creepy. They slow it down, remix it, and it's not the same as the original quality. But that's okay. It's by Henry Daker. Long story. So, anyways, segue aside. She's singing Daisy Bell. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer too. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. It won't be a stylish marriage. I can't afford a carriage, but you'll look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle built for two. That's exactly what she's singing, over and over and over. It's my favorite song, so I don't know. It's probably why it's stuck in me. It's my favorite song. Literally, I know the song is okay, but Daisy Bell's my favorite. For now. Until the song replaces it, it's going to be hard to replace Daisy Bell. It's actually a pretty good song. But she sings it. And I'm walking towards it, sort of in a trance. What I don't know is that my body is also moving in the process. So my body will physically get out of the bed, go open the door, walk down the hallway. Sometimes I'll end up outside. Sometimes I'm inside. But most of the time I come to and then I just go back to sleep. It's okay. It's not too bad. But it's getting worse and worse. And so I talked to one of my friends and they said, try to sit down during your trance. Resist the urge to walk forward, because that's what's causing your sleepwalking. I think that's what they said. I think that's true. But I said, okay. So Monday comes. Fast forward to Monday. Monday comes. I forget what time it is. Doesn't matter. It's late at night. It's probably 10:30, I think. Maybe a little later. It's 11:30 when I checked my watch. I don't remember what time it was before I fell asleep, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so if you look at the camera, there's a camera right over there. Right there. There's a camera. And I said, there's a camera right above my door, facing the hallway, facing towards the fishbowl, which is the fishbowl is right over here. Right there. Right, beeline straight through the door. Fishbowl's in there. It's called the fishbowl. No idea why. Don't judge me. This is what they call it, Job Corps. So, I quickly say no to the dream, and I try to sit down. I'm sitting in my dream, but in reality, I've collapsed. I've collapsed on the floor. I'm walking in practically a zigzag. Then I just flat face down on the floor, motionless. So Mr. Charles, one of my dorm staff, favorite dorm staff by the way, he's a great guy. He comes up to me, says, Alex, he's touching me, not inappropriate, but he's touching me, let me make sure I have a pulse. He thinks I'm sleeping. And in my brain, I can hear Mr. Charles. I'm trying to respond to him. I can't respond. My body's not awake. It's still sleeping. My trance is still there. And something else. I can't respond verbally, and I can't see it. I can't open my eyes to give him a sign that I'm awake. Eventually I come to because the dream ends. But my eyes, I forget what's happening with my eyes. My eyes are kind of being weird. The REM, rapid eye movement, was going through, I think. They see that. He thinks I'm having a seizure. So I'm not having a seizure. I'm fine. If I was having a seizure, I'd be like shaking, like convulsing. And I was not doing that. I was just laying face down on the cold floor. The floor was freezing cold. It felt good because it was a hot day, but it was really cold. So, anyway, I come to. Mr. Doss is there. There's another female there. Mr. Charles is there. And I'm like, what the, how the fuck that, what the hell's going on? He's like, and Mr. Doss is like, I don't know, but I want you to just don't move. Just don't move. Stay there. So they called 911. 911 comes. They come, take my pulse, and leave. There's nothing for them to do. I was fine. I was cognitive. I knew where I was. I knew what day it was. I was fine. I was awake. I was running on adrenaline because when you sleepwalk and some wakes you up, adrenaline burst kicks in and you get all frantic-y. I think that's how it works. I'm not sure. I've never been violent, so I've never known to be violent. If I some sleepwalking, they say don't wake them up or anything. Guide them back to bed safely if they can. If they can't, it's okay. but try to guide them to bed as soon as you can, as soon as you see them walking. So 911 comes, 911 leaves, ambulance leaves. They asked me if I can go to the hospital. I said no, I'm fine. Let me stay because I'm not paying the hospital bill for this. I don't know how that's gonna work in New Hampshire. If I have to pay the bill, I can't afford a hospital ride. I don't want to either. I'll be there. They will release me. They're always gonna pick me up. How am I gonna call Job Corps? I've called Job Corps multiple times and they haven't picked me up. So I don't know what's happening. So I'm just like, no, don't take it to the hospital, please. I beg of you. So I quickly say no to the hospital ride and I go back to sleep. I had about 3 cups of water just to wake myself up, hype myself up. I text my parents, text Dad, I text my therapist, and I text Seth. I text the group chat. I text a couple people. I don't remember all of them, but that's okay. They were busy. Obviously, it was like 12 o'clock. I talked to Anthony Schweiker. He was awake. I don't know why he was awake, but he was. We talked on the phone for like an hour. And then I went to bed. It was like 1 o'clock. So I went to bed at 2. Woke up at 7. Got 5 hours and 22 minutes of sleep that day. Not able to function. Barely able to function. Had to grab some caffeine. Had to drink a Monster and had to drink a soda. 2 sodas to keep up with my caffeine. Just to wake me up and just get through the day. It was a really rough patch in my life. Rough morning, rough night, practically rough night. Everyone's asleep, but I told Tristan, my roommate, and I told George, I said, George, if I'm sleepwalking, guide me to bed. I don't care what you have to do, just do not wake me up. I will beat the crap out of you, or I'll hurt you. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I've never done it before. I just don't want to be aggressive. I know people, if they sleepwalk, they'll be aggressive. It's scientifically proven, I think. I don't know if it's true or not. Don't quote me on that either. I don't know. But I've heard people get violent or aggressive when they're woken up. And Tristan told me a story about a friend that died when they were sleepwalking. They died because they woke up, had adrenaline, had a mini heart attack, and died right then and there. So I said, oh shit. Like, god dang, what the hell? So I said, it's not worth it. Anywho, I said, you know what? I'm not going to sleepwalk. So last night went, I didn't sleepwalk. Thank God. I didn't take my antipsychotic medicine, which meant the dream came back. Usually, and I can't confirm this because I haven't taken it long enough. It's only been a week. Maybe a week and a half now. Yeah, a week and a half now. Since I took this antipsychotic medicine, 8 milligrams of something. Can't tell you the name, I don't remember. Doesn't matter. But, I said, you know what? I don't take the medicine. I'm going to see what happens. I risked everything because there was no staff at the fishbowl to let me in to take my medicine. It was okay. I said, I promise you, I'm going to try to resist the urge to sleep. To sleepwalk. So I slept well that night. I got 12 hours and 4 minutes of sleep. Hold on. 12 hours and 7 minutes of sleep. 12 hours and 7 minutes of sleep. Compared to my 5 hours and 22 minutes of sleep. I got 12 hours the next day, which is freaking awesome. Score of 87, which is a great score. It's not high as 90. I'm trying to get to 90. Get a good night's rest. I got 14 hours of sleep on Friday. Last Friday. Which was freaking awesome. I loved it. But staff got educated on my sleepwalking. They said if JC was sleepwalking, they'll guide me back to bed, or if I collapse, to give me a blanket and I'll come to. It's not gonna be that long, and I'll go back to bed with the blanket, I guess, or something. I don't know. But we got the security camera first time sleepwalking, zigzagging across the hallway. I'm on my way to get medicine because I didn't take my medicine that night. And I just collapsed on the floor. And it was not fun. Really bad timing. I collapsed on the floor. So I said, not worth it. I got my medicine when I woke up, came to. Staff was all nervous about this. When they called 911, they were like, "What the fuck is going on with you, Alex? What the fuck?" So they panicked and they called 911. I was like, "No, don't call 911 ever again. Please don't." So wellness came. Mr. Lewis, the on-site manager, asked me if I was okay. I said, "Yeah, I'm fine. Just fell asleep and sleepwalked. That's all it is. Not too bad. Hopefully it's not too frequent. It's become frequent." But I wanted to say, I've been holding this back for a long time. I've told lots of people, but now I'm going to reveal an inner secret. Oh, how am I going to say this? How do I say this? And don't try to diagnose me with anything because it's not what you think it is. I've tried. My therapist has tried to diagnose me with it. We've tried to dissect this together. We're still dissecting it together. It's not as easy as it sounds to be actively trying to diagnose this situation that I'm in. But I have this voice in my head. He's been here, I believe, since 2022. Maybe 2023. He came around that time. 2022. I forget. I haven't asked him. I don't think he knows. So, I named him Steve. He's a little voice in my head. I've had him for a while. Now, I want you to hear me out. I do not have schizophrenia. I do not have split personality disorder. It's not those two things. Or dual character syndrome, something like that. I don't have any of that. It's just a voice in my head that tells me what to do. Sometimes. I'd say I'm in control of my body about 98% of the time. The other 2% is Steve acting whenever he wants. Most of the times at night. But I think, and I've texted this to my therapist. He knows who Steve is. I've told him about it for about 4 months now. Maybe even longer. No, 6 months. Half a year. Told him about Steve. We were trying to dissect him. I said, Steve, because he said something that triggered me, kind of worried me a little bit about what's going on in my body. When you're sleepwalking, sometimes you're not in control of what you do. So, I said, Steve, what's up with you? One day. I forget when. It was last week. He says, "Oh, Alex, how are you doing?" "I'm doing well." I said, "I'm doing well too. I'm just having a normal conversation in my brain." Mentally, I'm not saying this out loud because I would look insane, but I talk to myself, but sometimes I talk out loud to Steve, and I forget that other people can hear me. But like, I can talk to Steve right now. I'm talking to him right now, but you wouldn't know because I'm talking to you. Camera. I'm joking, I'm not talking to Steve. Steve is asleep. But, I can have two conversations at once. Mentally and verbally to you guys. So, Steve is not awake. I lied. I'm sorry. Couldn't help it. Just giving an example that Steve can communicate with me while I'm talking to someone else. So, I can multitask. It's relatively difficult because sometimes I have to tell the person I'm talking to shut up while I talk to Steve. Because if I say something out loud, it's going to go to Steve and Steve's going to hear it and be like, reply. So I have a conversation with Steve and not the person I'm talking to. It can get complicated. But I'm trying to explain. So, anywho, quickly, Steve says, "Alex, I was walking for the first time." So what do you mean you were walking the first time? I always walk. You know what it's like to walk, right? He's like, "No, that's under your own power. I was actually walking." Said, "Steve, how did you do that? How is that possible?" In other words, says, "I was taking control of your body, I think." Said, "Steve, that's really not a good thing. I'm trying to get rid of Steve. He's been here for way too long. I'm trying to go insane, and some of my actions are starting to show Steve's side. I'm trying to resist him. I've resisted for months now, but sometimes he says things that I didn't say it's Steve, and I'll blame him for some of the activities that I do." So, and it's not all the time he's active. He's active usually Sundays and Tuesdays. He's active every day. But not that frequently. Says good morning, he wakes me up. Sometimes he interrupts a dream, which is okay. I just shut him off. I just tell him go back to sleep. And he'll go back to sleep, or we'll just shut up. I don't know if he's active in the background, but I can't hear him I won't hear from him at night. But yeah. So it's gonna be a long video, I just have to explain everything. So my dream, I think, is Steve controlling me. Because Steve has had full reign of my body when I'm asleep. And I think he's taking advantage of me sleeping now. Again, I could be taking this all wrong. I could say this completely wrong, and there's something else that's going on in the background that I don't know about. But I'm letting you know that he has tried to take control of my body before. While I'm awake and while I'm not awake. I was gonna talk in my sleep. I toss and turn. I rock. Not I rock like, yeah, you rock, Alex. No, I rock. I turn my body left and right to go to sleep. I rock. I don't know, put my thumb in my mouth, but close enough to that. I used to rock when I was younger. I still do to this day. It's a soothing thing. People don't understand. I'll look insane doing it. Looks like I'm having a nightmare. But I'm not. I'm just sleeping. Just trying to get into sleeping mode. It's hard. But it's not impossible. But, so Steve says, Alex, I'm walking. I'm like, okay. How are you walking? I tried to ask him, how are you walking, so I can counter that when I wake up. Because the dream, so when I reached the voice saying she's from a female that's singing Daisy Bell, to me, to a male voice saying, Alex, let's go for a walk. And then, like, 2 minutes later, which is like, feels like an hour in real life, and 2 seconds later, the dream ends, opening my eyes, and I'm not where I'm supposed to be at all. So, I have gone outside, over near the fence, and I've tried to climb it. It does not work because I'm too weak. I have no upper body strength, but it's crazy. I've tried to escape campus, and I've gotten in trouble, and I'm like, how am I going to... Why would you yell at me? I'm not even controlling my own damn body. But I get reprimanded for it. I'm like, whatever, it's not worth the battle. Just fight it. Just go with it. Be very compliant. Don't resist. So I say, you know what, Alex? So to Steve, please don't do that ever again. Because you're scaring staff, and you're scaring security, because they don't know what I'm doing. Cameras can only do so much. They can catch you in the act, but they can't prevent you from acting. There's no speaker that security can just go like, hey, we got a sleepwalker in sector 202. Security, please apprehend the sleepwalker, sector 202. Alright, please, sector 202. There's nothing like that. They can't. And the speakerphone, the loudspeaker works, but most of the time it's for announcements on campus for refill medicine, daily events, security's coming to town, and stuff like that. Most of it's for announcements, not for straight out calling people out for an action. Because it's all around campus. It's not just one. You can't tell the loudspeaker to just play in one dorm. If it did, they would have woken me up with this speaker and not bothered anyone else on the dorm. But that's what happened. So, nothing bad happened. I didn't hurt anyone, and I haven't sleepwalked since. But I'm keeping a journal. I am going to therapy. I'm talking to my therapist today at 6. On my phone. Fuck. I'll be right back. Don't worry. I'm still talking. I just have to get my phone to have to make sure I have my right therapy appointment. Okay, I'm back. I'm so sorry. I do a taste test and a deal with my therapist. My therapist I'm gonna have tomorrow. I'm gonna talk to him tomorrow at 6. Just to remind myself, say that mentally, so I can say that out loud, so I can remind myself that 6, not 7, which usually at the time 7, but 6 works for me great. I can go to sleep earlier. See him at 6, and at 6:30, maybe before that, maybe take a little bit longer. That's okay. Anyway, guys, I'm so sorry it's taking a long time. Time is currently 5:15. I know it's been filmed for 25 minutes, but time has gone by. I edited this video. See if I came back. So time is 5:15. I'll see you later. Peace. So if you want to hear more about Steve, I'll gladly entertain you guys. I'll make more videos about it. Tell you guys more about my sleepwalking incidents if they ever happen again. I don't think they will. I'm going to try to resist the urge. I'm going to take my antipsychotic meds. And I'm just going to hammer, work my way through this. I'll see you later. Peace.